Hey everybody, it's Brian. I'm back with the latest GPS logger, the GPS black box from Voltron. This is like similar to the other GPS loggers they had, in which case you throw in your model and you come down and it tells you how fast you went, how high you went, distance flown, and all that. The advantage to this particular model is it has mapping, which not only allows you to see what the path your plane flew over the ground, but it gives you a string of points with the actual speed, altitude for each of those points. Advantage to that is that every little point gives you the speed, so you can do an upwind pass and a downwind pass, and that'll give you the correct for the wind. But also, one of the problems with the earlier GPS loggers is that the highest speed would be recorded, and if there were any errors, like it would jump in position, it would record that as a speed, and so you get errors in speed. This time you'll be able to see if those errors are there. So you'll be able to see the jump and be able to discard that. Also, if you got a whole line of 100 miles an hour and then suddenly you get 120, you can be able to say, well, that's obvious an error. So let's go plug it into the model and see how it operates. Okay, so first thing I've done is we've taken the servo cord and we've plugged it into the receiver. There's an extra cord here. That's an accessory plug that is for essentially for future connectivity. So there may be future accessories you can plug in. So imagine triggers at certain altitudes or airspeeds or something like that. So don't plug anything to this until the accessories come out. Once you apply power, power up, Voltron, GPS data logger version 3, and it comes up with a menu. Now, there's just one button control, and it's at the top right here. And if you do a short, quick push, it changes. So you see right now GPS data, search GPS. So if you want to select one, we're going to do search GPS. I'm going to push and hold, and it does a search. Now, it usually goes through a searching function, but since I've already done the search, it already has our location. If you find it goes through the search function, doesn't find where you are, unplug it and plug it back in. That's normal for the first time because it doesn't know where it is in the world, so it has to do some calculations. But as you can see, first of all, it gives you the GPS time, or lat and long. It gives you the number of satellites over here on the left. It gives 7, and then it says mile. You can record in miles or kilometers an hour. To adjust that, simply plug it in or apply power while you're holding the battery down, and it'll give you a menu for that. Now, to start logging, push and hold. It says start logging, and it gives you all the information here. Speed is 0, distance is 0, height we're at 6,700 feet here, and the time it had elapsed 10 seconds. And then once we get moving, it'll record all these parameters. So let's put it in the air and see how it goes. Okay, let's go.
Flight mode 1. Flight mode 2.
Okay, now let's look at our results. It's still recording now, so we need to stop recording. And you can see there's lights here flashing red and the green, so we've got good connection. Push and hold. And it's going to stop. Gives us now our location. If we flip through with a single click, it gives it our time. 7 minutes, 19 seconds. Now that's not as long as the flight was, that's as long as it took from stopping it to starting it. Total distance was 2.7 miles that it flew. Hot maximum speed was 107.5 miles an hour. Average speed 21. Now that's the average from the whole 7.9, so it's pretty slow, but that's because there's a lot of time sitting on the bench here. Max height was 68.38. Now we can take that and subtract it from the, I think it was a 60, pretty close to 6,700 that we had, so about 100 feet high. We can look at that when we come back to the beginning. And there we go, the location. That's pretty much it. Now what we can do is we can go back to the bench, put it on the computer, look at the map, and compare all the little points along the line and see that our number is accurate. Okay, here's the screen as you see it as you open the CAM file from your GPS logger, the black box. As you can see, there's a lot of information here. It's so what we're going to do is tune that down. If you look up here on the left hand side, we've got the time slider. What we're going to do is grab this, we're going to move it to the left. As you can see, we're going to lose some time here, and we limit what we've got. There's also this little bracket, this other second part, and we're going to bring it in so we only see a few at a time. And that means we can go through and we can watch the flight from beginning to end without seeing the whole thing. So now we can look at our upwind passes and our downwind passes and figure out what our best speed was. So there's my landing. So and anything past here was just walking back to the field. So let's find ourselves back to the beginning. And I did the flight. I did my 2 fast passes earlier on, so we should be able to see those right away. There's looks like my takeoff. Okay, so we can zoom in. Actually, let's just zoom in a little bit. Give ourselves a bit more space. And go. So I did that, came and just did a quick pass, and then I actually did what I thought was a fast pass. So let's look at some of the speeds here. And just click on one of these, and it says 106.5 miles an hour, 107.5. What's over here? 102.6. So I was definitely accelerating as I came through here. That makes sense. 104.5. Well, that's that one there. 101.1. 95, 81. So you can definitely see a pattern of acceleration as I came down here. And here's my 107.5 that I saw as a result on the GPS logger. So let's close that up. And we can zoom forward to the next pass that I did. Came around and zoomed through the other way. So let's have a look. Oops, let's move it forward a bit more. 79 miles an hour, 80. So I'm speeding up, 85.3. 91.5, 96.9, what's the next one over here? 100.3, 105.7, 105.5, which is normal. So we had our downwind pass, which came this way, at 107.5. Upwind pass, we maxed it at 105.5. Now, so we know what the maximum ground speed is, but we're not interested in that. We're interested in the maximum speed through the air. Well, with this, we'll call it a maximum 105.5. Then we can go through the whole flight and double check. But I can see that the average speed of the max airspeed is probably going to be 106.5 miles an hour, because that's the difference between the average between the 105.5 and the 107.5. And we can go through the whole flight like this. Let's see if there's another fast pass. What was I doing here? It doesn't look like, you can see that the spacing is not as much. So this one's 70 miles an hour, 66, 63, and I did a slow pass coming through here, 49, 51. Here we go, get rid of that. And let's see if I did another fast pass. This doesn't look very fast based on that. And that was my landing, so I think that was pretty much it. as far as the fast pass. So we can quickly run through the whole flight. Let's go back here to the takeoff. There's me on the ground. I'll zoom out a little bit here. Took off, did a quick, pass through in front of the flight line. You can see I got up to about 70 miles an hour, maybe a little bit more over here. Yeah, 88.4. As I cruise along again. Where's my... Oops, I've made it too short for some reason. And then I decided to do my first pass. This is when I got my maximum speed, which should be right about there, 106.5, 107.5. Started to pull up, so we got a little bit less, 102, 99.7, 94.5. And then I did my other pass, came back through here, got 103.7, 105.7. Well, actually, I guess that's faster. I thought it was 105.5. So we can say it's a little bit faster than 106.5. But in any case, you can see how we did that. And I came back here, did a nice slow pass because I didn't do very much speed here. It was only 60 miles an hour. And we went just a nice couple of figure eights, down pass, and then I came in for my landing. As you can see, I stopped down there. Okay, so that's the Voltron GPS black box. As you can see, pretty powerful tool, a lot of information, like all these data points. But that's good because you can you've got all that information that you can see exactly where the speed was and all the different points. Now, if there's a big gap, a big jump, let's say you jump from here to over here, you might see a high speed over here because that would be an error, and it would say, oh, okay, the difference between that and that's this much distance, this much time gives the speed. You can see that that's going to be an error, so that's what to watch out for. Look out for one speed that is significantly different from the other one, and that's how you can eliminate the errors from this system. So that's the Voltron GPS black box. Great tool for knowing exactly how fast your jet or whatever, your model, your car, your model boat, whatever you want, how fast it's actually going. Now, as you can see, it also gives you the altitude. Now, GPS altitude is not the best thing, but certainly just a nice starting point to see what your altitude is. Anyway, go to velocityarc.com to pick yourself up one of these. Thanks for watching.